All right, hit that one pretty daggone good. And I was able to turn and keep my left arm straight in the entire backswing. I know that gives so many players problems, and it actually has nothing to do with your left arm whatsoever. And let's go ahead and jump right into this. Now, we need to do a test. Now I'm gonna back up against this wall here to show you how to do this test now. Sorry if I came out of focus with the camera, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our shoulders flat against the wall, and we're gonna stick our left arm out just dead straight. Put your thumb this way where it's pointing across your body. Then as you keep this straight, try to pull it across your chest or across your body this way as far as you can until it gets too tight to go any further. Now from here, if I wanted to go any further this way, I'd have to start bending that left arm. Now if I went lower or higher, this is going to adjust it slightly, but we'll get to that here in a second. So what that means is now that we've seen, so when I do that test, I keep my shoulders, the reason I didn't keep my shoulders against the wall is I didn't want to rotate my body. I'm keeping my body still, and that's as far as I can go. So if I'm looking at my hand here, it's on the inside of my right shoulder. So what that means in the golf swing is as I bend forward, so if I do that motion here, I bend forward into my golf posture, however much my shoulders rotate is how far back my left arm can go as I keep it straight. Now, most people don't know, but PGA Tour players actually do bend their left arm. It's not locked dead straight like this. They let the arm bend on average about 15 degrees when players have been tracked with using 3D kind of motion capture. So there is a little bit of bend, so keeping it dead straight locked like that isn't always the best idea. And also you don't want to feel like you're really tight and tense as you're making your swing, or you're going to lose feel from your hands. So we don't want to try to lock this left arm straight at the cost of everything else. We might have a little bit of bend like a PGA Tour players, and we want to stay fairly soft as we go back so that we can have feel of the club head. Now, once you've found your range of motion, if you're more flexible than me, you may be able to get your right hand outside of your right shoulder like this, or your left hand, excuse me, I said right hand. You may be able to get your left hand more across your body than me. If you're super tight, have a big chest, maybe you're fairly muscular, you may not be able to go quite as far as I did. But the key here is to understand how far can you go, and then when I bend down in my golf posture, how much would I have to turn to get a reasonably good length backswing? So for me, if I can turn my shoulders a little past 90 degrees in the backswing, and I keep my left arm basically here, which is as far as I can go keeping it straight, then that's about where my arm should be at the top of the backswing. Some players that are much more flexible have that thing flying way up there, like a Justin Thomas or a Davis Love III, somebody like that, may be way more flexible than I am, but not that flexible. I could work on my flexibility a ton. Maybe I'd eke out another inch or two, but I just need to understand that. So when I get my arm here and I rotate, that's as far back as I should be trying to take my left hand. From there, how do we move to that position? Well, a lot of players will do this. They won't rotate their shoulders much at all in the backswing. So left arm across, they'll only go to here where I've only gotten, say, a 70-degree shoulder turn, and now all of a sudden, look how short my hands are. This is as far back as I can get my arms. So what will we do to try to compensate for that? We're going to bend this left arm to get it all the way back there, and that's why your left arm is folding. So it's not actually your arm trying to lock it straight. Being a good athlete, you realize that with that shoulder turn that you're making, this isn't going to work. I've got to get the club farther back. So for example, if I just made this shorter shoulder turn, got my arm straight, I can't hit it very far like that. I can hit it farther like this, even though it doesn't look very good. So the real key there is realizing what your range of motion is, and then if you want to make any semblance of a full backswing, it's getting your shoulders to turn that much. So if my arm is here, with good flexibility, or with poor flexibility, if you learn the good technique, you can still get your arms way back there. You can still get a very nice full backswing like I just demonstrated, even if you're as tight as I am. So here's how to do that. Let me walk you through it step by step. First off, your body can only rotate as much as your feet will let your body rotate. So if I'll keep my feet flat on the ground and I try to rotate, I'm not going to be able to turn very much. Good players that have a long, free-flowing backswing can keep that left arm straight all the way up to the top. They're letting their knees move a little bit, and as I move my knees, if I go from this side, look how my left heel is going to start to come up off the ground slightly. So especially with a driver where I'm making a longer swing, you may see those heels start to lift up as I'm coming back and through. That allows my knees to pivot, and as my knees pivot, my hips are going to rotate more, and then sure enough, my shoulders will be able to rotate more. So if I'm only getting a little tiny hip turn because my feet are flat on the ground and my knees are locked like this, I'm going to get a tiny shoulder turn, and sure enough, I'm only going to be able to keep my left arm straight to here. If I let my knees pivot and my feet come slightly off the ground, like basically every single PGA Tour player does, my hips are going to go closer to 45 or even 60 degrees in the backswing rotated. And then my shoulders just have to turn a little bit more than that, and all of a sudden I'm well past 90 degrees of my shoulder turn. And when I just stick my left arm out, that's going to get it nice and high, and it's still going to look very straight. So take a few minutes and start to do these little drills where you rotate your knees first. Just get used to letting your knees move more than what you're used to. You're going to have to move your heels to make that happen. Then bring it up the chain. Let your hips rotate more. And then finally, go ahead and try to get your shoulders to rotate more in addition to the hips. And you're going to get to here. So a good way to check this is put a club across your shoulders like this. I'll try not to hit my microphone. And I'm going to rotate enough to where I can get my club pointing well behind the golf ball. And I'd like to have my chest or my shirt buttons kind of inside my right foot. That's maintaining good posture. If I stood up out of my posture, I'd be doing this more level. So if my club's pointing down at the ground, I'd have good rotation. If my chest is kind of over the inside of my right foot, then I haven't done this reverse pivot and swayed back this way. I've gotten a good turn, which keeps my spine angle nice and steady as I'm coming through the shot. And then finally, I'm going to look at how far can I get it back there before I have to kind of stand up out of my posture, go any further. So I'm going to go to the end of my range of motion. If that feels comfortable, if I can talk as I'm doing that, my left heel is probably lifting, my left knee is probably rotating out, and I'm allowing my body to rotate like that. Then it's simply just sticking out the arms. So let me do this one more time. Letting my body rotate, I'm getting to here. Club pointing well behind the ball. I've stayed in my posture, I'm not up like this. And I've made at least a 90-degree shoulder turn. Then I'm simply going to stick out my arm straight, and that's going to be my maximum backswing distance so I can keep a left arm straight. Again, a little bit of bend in the left arm is okay, and definitely a little bit of movement in the knees and the feet is more than okay. It's required for most players to make that good turn. So let's go ahead and try another one here. I got a 9-iron. Last one, man, smoked that thing. Said 168 carry. That's what happens when you get a good shoulder turn. I was really focused on that. Let's give it another whirl here, see if I can keep the left arm straight and get a good turn. There we go, that one felt good too. I think my camera might be lined up a little bit to the right, or my launch monitor, because that felt pretty straight, hit in the center of the screen. But 170-yard 9-iron, that's pretty daggone good. I'm going to have to work on getting this good turn for myself. Now, one thing that players will do a lot of times is they'll get this big turn, they'll get the left arm straight, but then sure enough, in the downswing, they'll start standing up and throwing the club. And it's like all that great work that you did to make that beautiful backswing just gets lost when we do this in the downswing. Well, that's not very fun, and everybody wants to stay in their posture, but what most players don't realize is that to stay in your posture has less to do with your body staying in posture and staying down, and it has more to do with how you release the golf club. You see, most players have been told that they need to roll the forearms over each other to release the club, and if you do that, you kind of have to back up out of your posture, or you just kind of bury that thing in the ground. That's not what the pros are doing, though. They're squaring up the club much more differently, something that I call the anti-roll method. And I want to show you that video and show you exactly what I mean by that and teach you the right way to square up the club face, because it's a game changer. Now, if you've seen me for very many videos at all, you've probably heard me talk about the anti-roll method before, and that's because it's so important. I'm going to play one of my best videos on the anti-roll method here in a second. All you need to do is go ahead and click that card that pops up on the screen. You'll see it up here somewhere. If you don't see that card, don't worry. Go down to the description below, and you can get instant access to the anti-roll method there. So I'll play that preview now. I can't wait to share with you the right way to square out the club so you can start playing your best golf. So here's the bottom line. If you've been taught to roll the club in the early downswing, that causes the shaft to get steep. And that steep club causes all your problems. It causes you to hit it way behind the big hitters and way inconsistent with your quality of strikes. So you're in the tall grass and the trees and the hazards all day long. Now the great news is this. There's really only two pieces that you need to know to fix all these problems. The first one is we need to learn the proper way to square up the club face. Instead of rolling the forearms and getting steep, there's another way that the pros do this. Once you learn this right way to square up the club face, then you can shallow out from the inside and everything starts to fit together. Now I'm going to teach you this right now in what I call the anti-roll method. You may also hear this called the motorcycle move or the tour twist, but let's walk through exactly how to do that. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and go kind of in the last parallel in the downswing. So here, I want my hips to go ahead and be opening up. I want my club to be parallel with the ground, and I want my hands to be in front of my right thigh. Now, when I take my grip, you're going to notice that when I do this, the club face is basically straight up and down. So if I'm looking at it from this angle, you'll see the face is straight up and down, and my logo of my glove is pointed out in front of me. Now from there,